Hi, Leo. Hope you had a great Christmas and Happy New Year. Okay, so this is your January 2025 and year ahead horoscope. Um, and I've labeled 2025, it has three themes. So I've labeled it the very recent past slash present, and then we will be thrust into the future. And then the latter half of the year, we will go back to the past. I also discuss Mars because it is very important since it's in your sign and Cancer for a very long time, almost up to April, May. And then huge shifts into the future with Neptune and Saturn changing signs from Pisces to Aries, which Pisces is your eighth house of joint finances, and Aries is your ninth house of travel and education. Neptune has been in Pisces for the past 14 years, so that's a huge shift. I'll also be discussing the nodal axes of the North and South Node because those are changing signs after a 2 year run. And also Uranus. Uranus is changing signs from Taurus, your 10th house of career and status, and it will be changing signs to Gemini, your 11th house of friendships, groups, associations, and circles like that. And that is moving on after a 7 year tour of Taurus. So that's huge as well. And regarding Pluto and Aquarius, uh, I I won't be discussing that much. Practically almost none at all. Maybe a few places in your scope. Only because Aquarius, by the way, is your seventh house of partnerships. So you'd think I discuss it because that's very important to you guys. I will, but why I'm not doing it in detail is because I have actually completed a dedicated video for Pluto and Aquarius for each sign, and I've done it for 5 years into the future. Uh, because it's a 20-year transit. Pluto moves really slow. I think it's only at zero something or 1 degree of Aquarius right now. And I just felt like discussing it on and off or just giving you like a year ahead or something really wouldn't serve you guys. It's a 20-year energy. You need at least a good insight. I think 5 years was the magic spot. So I chose not to upload it because I wanted to do the 2025 year ahead for you guys, so you get a flavor of all these huge shifts that are taking place. And then hopefully you're subscribed, because then right after I finish these yearly horoscopes, I'm going to be uploading the dedicated videos for Pluto and Aquarius for each sign. So you'll get notified if you're subscribed. Um, and yeah, so that's what we'll be covering. And I'm not going to have a generic intro. So we are going to jump right into this. What you have on your screen right now is the 2025 year ahead planetary alignments and degrees. So if you want to take a snapshot of this and then compare it to your natal chart at your leisure or what have you, or you can always refer back to it. So, right, you can see the direct and retrograde dates for Mars in Cancer and Leo. Spends a long time in your sign and Cancer. And as you can see, I've highlighted you right here because it does that. Then I do give you the Mercury retrograde dates, 3 times this year. Also, Venus will retrograde in 2025. It usually doesn't retrograde every year. Or every other. It's rare, so I'm giving you that. And then, like I mentioned, the nodal axes will be changing signs after 2 years, and I'll be discussing that. Then, if you want to take screenshots, this is your 2025 primary transits, ingresses, and retrogrades for January, February, March, April, May, and June, because I'll only be discussing like the major aspects that will affect you. I've personalized each year scope for each sign where it's most important. So August, September, October, and November, and December. Um, and before we jump into your sign, I just want to let you know that I have sped up the video because I'm using this generic video editor. So if it is too fast for you, just click on the icon, the tools icon on the video, and you can slow it down. Um, so just letting you know that. Okay, so we are going to jump straight into this, Leo. Okay, Leo. So let us start. Oh, by the way, if you hear snoring, it's my pug. I'm sorry about that, but yeah, I find it endearing. Anyway, Leo, How does that song go? Or what? Money, 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 money. It's a lot about money at the front of mind for you guys, and moving. Something about moving, housing issues. Since September, you've had some wake up calls regarding money or joint finances, um, or intimacy, either because of the past 2 years having to maybe spend on a major purchase, or lump sums have been going out, or a partner's income might have fluctuated. Excuse me. Or there was, sorry, a child, some kind of spending on a child or family, and we will discuss that later. But first, what we're going to be discussing is Mars versus Pluto, which is in theme with the very recent past slash present. So first, Mars entered Cancer um, back in end of September, October, and that is your 12th house of the past, of secrets, any drugs or alcohol use here, your faith, working behind the scenes, and any hidden enemies can be in the 12th house. And what was happening? Well, what we had was a Mars versus Pluto showdown, exact on November 3rd. I mean, the pressure was building because we started to feel that in September and October, um, because the Mars Pluto pressure was applying, the opposition was applying, and because Pluto was opposing Cancer. Cancer is your 12th house, but it also rules family natally. It rules the family, and so relationships regarding maybe a partner, like I said, a child or a family member. Maybe you were taking care of an elderly parent, maybe, or something about a home issue. Now, Mars then entered your sign. So that is your first house. So you felt a lot of urgency and heat regarding something maybe about your appearance, your physical appearance, wardrobe or hairstyle, or profile online. The other thing that Mars can do when it's in the first sign, you can feel some ailments, your physical health. Um, God forbid, minor accidents can occur here. And because Pluto was in Capricorn, um, Capricorn is your sixth house of daily habits, routines, scheduling, but especially health. And it does cover pets. Excuse me. Uh, and you've been dealing with that for the past 18 years, uh, especially especially so. If you've felt it more in November and December, is because Pluto was at the very critical 29th degree of Capricorn, the ending degree. So when it started going retrograde, because currently it's retrograde in your sign, you need to be careful of health. And through January through May, like I said, because Mars will stay in Cancer in your sign until then. And so the opposition to Pluto, even though Pluto has changed signs, that pressure, that opposition will last that long. We have another opposition coming up on the 2nd of January, which we'll be feeling. We're already feeling it, and then and that will be in your sign, and then there will be another opposition in I think it's April, but I have it on the chart, and we'll be discussing that. There'll be another opposition to Mars in your sign again. So what I'm trying to say, as far as urgency or heat or any ailments or physical issues, we're not you and we are not out of the woods yet. And the only thing with Mars being retrograde is if you push, it gets pushed back. You get pushed back that much. And the only suggestion I have for all this energy with Mars is exercise, sleep, and nutrition. Um, Keep those in mind. Keep that in tip top condition, because that will really, really help you out. Okay. Now, in whatever happened regarding with this Mars Pluto opposition on November 3rd, it had something to do with the past, with maybe a secret, with you working behind the scenes, um, or it could have been about being confined, or you psychologically being maybe depressed or something. And then it came smack in the middle to Pluto. and Pluto was in Capricorn, like I said, and that is your sixth house of health. Now, Mars is the god of war. It is the ruler of Aries, and Aries is your ninth house of travel, career, or rather education, publishing, and so forth. Mars only knows forward action and heat and urgency. So Mars says, "What do you want?" And you'll say, "I want that." And Mars says, let's go get it." And Mars is the god of war. Like I said, he is fearless. Whether he's up against a lion or a dragon, or if he's up against a puppy, he just rushes through. And Pluto is the god of the underworld. Pluto is the god of destruction and transformation. So he's pretty confident there. And when it's a showdown between him and Mars, he says, "Okay, you want me? Come at me. I got you." Uh, and Mars is fearless. He will go at it. So there was an explosive opposition on November 3rd, and we were feeling it starting in, like I said, September, October, and it perfected on November. Then it went into your sign, your first house, and again, Pluto was still transgressing those degrees, um, and that pressure, that push and pull, that tug of war was still there. Now, regarding the opposition on November 3rd and the fallout of that, we did go into December with Mars in your sign, um, going retrograde. That let's leave to the side because we're going to discuss that. But with December, we started to see um, discussions and compromises being offered regarding that Mars in Cancer versus Pluto in Capricorn. In the first week of December, then there was a second discussion or compromise during the winter solstice, or the middle of the month, towards Christmas, and there was a new moon in Capricorn at the end of December. So a new way forward, or a new final compromise, either was discussed or the opportunity was there to discuss it, or you're seeding the idea or the hope of a new way forward regarding your sixth house of busyness and routines, and this opposition regarding your past. So that's how we start out the month. But we have another opposition on coming to perfection again tomorrow on the 2nd of January. And the energy, like I said, I mean, even if I upload this and you don't hear it till the 3rd or 4th, you will understand it. And like I said, for some of you, it might happen after, or it might have already happened, um, or and we will be still feeling it through January, because January is engulfed in Capricorn energy. So is in your sign retrograde, and Mars hates going backward. It just hates it. And even when he's going retrograde, he's still drudging forward. I mean, he might be stuck in the mud, but he's still going forward. And he's looking deep down and under and carving a space out, maybe through the underworld, going forward. So Mars is in your sign retrograde. So you don't really have the outward energy that Mars usually gives you. The energy is an internal conflict, and it will be dead smack against Pluto again on the 2nd and during January. And Pluto now is in Aquarius, and Aquarius is your partnership house, your seventh house of contractual partnerships. So it can be an intimate partnership, or it can be a business partnership, or it could be a platonic partnership. Anyone who knows you really, really well, can hold up a mirror to you, is considered a partner. Even family members can be a partner, or children, or what have you. But so now you might feel like your authority is undermined this time with a partnership, or they're not hearing you, and this opposition um, again is tense, and all this energy is pent up. So that's why I mentioned, try to break up your day into increments of 8. So 8 hours for sleep, 8 hours for work, 8 hours for fun and entertainment and leisure time. And do try to incorporate some kind of an exercise program for yourself, because that internalized conflict, that internalized energy can then be expended, and it'll serve your health really, really well. Okay. And I'll be discussing January in full, but I'm going to go on to the next subject now. Well, before we go on to the next subject, which is thrusting us into the future, let me finish up January, because January is all engulfed in Capricorn and Mars energy. So I mentioned the second with the Mars versus Pluto. On the 6th, Mars is retrograding from your sign and back into Cancer. So again, Cancer is your 12th house of secrets and behind the scenes and the past. So Mars will be going back over those degrees because um, something might have been hidden either from you, or you maybe had a secret going on or working, researching behind the scenes. And when it started retrograding back in your sign, you might have been privy to the secret that was kept from you, for example, but uh, maybe partially. And why I say that is because, like I said, Mars is going to go deep down and under. And you might get the full story starting the 6th of January or on the 13th. Why the 13th is because we have a full moon in Cancer. So something is being revealed, even though I'm from the camp that says full moons actually hide things because it's at night and it's the moon, it's hidden. So something might still be hidden, but you're going to start with this Mars retrograde in Cancer. You're going to be starting to get this information that you're maybe confused about, or you were kept in the dark about, or like I said, maybe you were keeping a secret. There's a reason Mars is in the sign of Cancer and Leo for a good 6 months. That is huge. And it's going over the same degrees, back and forth, because there is something there that needs resolution. So, with the full moon in Cancer, this is a powerful full moon. Um, and Cancer rules, like I said, your 12th house, but it also rules the mother or the family or the home. And you actually are the ruler of the fifth house of love, children, romance, and pets. So it might have been also regarding maybe your parents, or it could have been about a child, or maybe your adult child having an issue with their children. Something like that is what I see coming up. And this ends on the 13th. It comes to a fruition. So that's why I say it might be revealed, even though it's a full moon. Now, on the 16th, the sun in Capricorn this time will oppose Mars in Cancer retrograde. This opposition is different to the Mars Pluto opposition. Mars Pluto oppositions are always volatile, are challenging, if not volatile. Like if you didn't feel it personally, you definitely knew about somebody that went through this. With the Sun opposing Mars, the Sun is your ruler. The Sun is the nurturing father. Okay, and Cancer is the nurturing mother. So both have an interest in each other succeeding. So when this opposition happens, this there's good oppositions and bad challenging ones. And this is one of the good oppositions. Someone gets something here. So actually the 16th I see as good. And try to have that attitude when that opposition comes in, because the sun is illuminating something regarding some kind of chaos, scheduling, health, and then again something that was in secret or the past. And on the 21st, this might be a challenging day for you. Just hang on. I know. Just when we thought everything was slowing down in December, boom, January. There's a lot of action in January. On the 21st, this sun will conjunct Aquarius. Okay, um, the sun will be in Aquarius and Pluto is in Aquarius. So this might, and the sun is your ruler. So this might be someone, a partner, might be undermining your authority, plain and simple, or you're having some kind of discussion about mm, attitudes or freedom, or something about a partnership, and it'll be a tense day. So hide under the covers. No, no, I'm joking. I'm joking. You are ruled by the sun, and like I said, the sun is the nurturing father. So what will diffuse this situation is you being nurturing and understanding, and listening. Okay. I mean, be firm. It's not about being firm, but just don't roar. um, Listen, and explain your side, but having listen and letting the other just get whatever is off their chest, and then you go into nurture mode. So, and then on the 23rd, we have Mercury in Capricorn this time, opposed Mars in Cancer. So, remember when I said on the 16th, this Sun in Capricorn opposes Mars in Cancer, um, and something beneficial for each side happens here. Um, on the 23rd, discussions will continue about how to go about how each one gets something out of this opposition. Okay, those are the major transits in in January, except on the 11th, the lunar nodes, the north node and the south node, will leave Pisces, or leave, I'm sorry, Aries and Libra, and will go into Pisces and Virgo. And after 2 years, it's a 2 year tour with the nodes. So those are significant too. And I was going to discuss those later, but I'll just go into it right now. So, the past 18 months or 2 years, there has been a tug of war between Aries and Libra. Aries is your ninth house of travel, foreigners, higher education, and publishing. And Libra is your third house of communication, commuting, siblings and cousins, vision, eyesight is here, and language, or your need to be heard. So, some kind of a tug of war opposition with you wanting some kind of freedom regarding your travel, regarding a foreigner, regarding education or publishing. You want to be free to do that, to pursue that, or to complete that. But Libra, your third house, you were having difficulty in maybe communicating that. Maybe you learned something as a student or what have you regarding travel and foreigners, and you had maybe a hard time communicating that or teaching that. Or maybe siblings or cousins or whatever were not understanding your need to have freedom in this. There was some kind of a codependency, some kind of neediness regarding your third house, which your ninth house of travel opposed, and it was a repetitive situation for the past 18 months. Well, yay, that ends. That tug of war ends. Okay, whether you completely end whatever it is in your third house, maybe there's an ending with a sibling, hopefully not, or a cousin or extended family, or um, you finally finish your research and you publish something or what have you. What I'm trying to say is that codependency, that neediness will end. And you, even if you stay in this relationship that you might not end, that neededness will disappear. You'll get more support out of that. Your siblings might understand, or your communications will start working properly, your communication devices, I mean. So, and to get, and then it goes into Pisces and Virgo, and we have, yes, we'll have a 18-month repetitive situation, particular situation, with a push and pull between your eighth house of joint finances, intimacy, inheritance, and between your second house of job and income. um, and it'll be that push and pull back and forth to finally perfect something in the future. So Virgo is analytical, okay, and very specific and detailed. And Pisces, like I said, is the sign of the fishes. It's duality. One fish goes one way and the other fish goes the other way. So your confusion about this joint finances and intimacy, or this idealism, will be asking you to um, do that, to have freedom to do that without over analyzing things, which will be a little difficult since, like I said, you might have been disillusioned, but Saturn has been teaching you how to ground yourself, how to when to throw an anchor, to not be lost at sea with this joint finances thing the last 2 years. So you'll be using those tools. But like I said, it's a huge shift. um, uh, After 2 years, you this codependency between your ninth house of travel and your third house of communication, that ends. So we're starting to go into the future. So that is January, and then we'll discuss the other subject, which is thrusting us into the future. Okay, so the next subject I'm going to discuss is Neptune and Saturn. Um, so Neptune has been in Pisces since Valentine's Day 2012. And Neptune, or rather Pisces, is your eighth house of joint finances, intimacy, taxes, the mortgage, inheritance. transformation, transformative energy, government benefits, excuse me, and any lump sums of money that you benefit from others. So, um, since 2012, when that started, you had this idealized vision of joint finances or intimacy. It felt like almost an escape for you. It was dreamy for you guys, and it you didn't mind like not having boundaries regarding this issue. Uh, and because you are Leo, you are the nurturing father. You might have even enjoyed having this reputation about no boundaries regarding um, joint finances. Just as an idea for some of you who might not understand it. But that started to change the because you had some problems with that transit as well. There was confusion, and sometimes when boundaries were stepped all over, it did hurt joint finances, or your partner might have had an issue where joint finances took a hit. Okay, um, and in 2023, well, let's start with 2022. 2022, we had the nodal axes in Taurus and Scorpio. I'm mainly concerned with Scorpio here because that is your fourth house of home and family, and you had some losses here. Um, Coinciding with 2023, Saturn spoiling the party. He came in with a thump into Pisces, and you got some really hard reality checks in 2023. I'll discuss 2022 about this home instability and loss a little later. But with Saturn coming in here, you might have had, because Saturn is he restricts, he inhibits, he withholds. Um, he is the god of boundaries. But Saturn is really misunderstood here. Actually, he is super beneficial because he helps you structure things. And since you were lost um, in this ocean of Pisces and your eighth house, you started drifting away. Like I said, boundaries were stepped all over, and you just didn't know how to come back to reality for some of you because it was so dreamy and and such. So what Saturn did was throw you an anchor and actually started pulling you back closer to shore. Okay, and some reality checks were hard. Some of you experienced loss in 2022 and 2023. Some of you lost a partner, or it could have been a parent. Um, and my condolences to that. That's always very difficult. Um, but prior to that, in 2022, when the nodes were in Taurus and Scorpio being your fourth house, like I mentioned, your home situation became unstable. There was instability. There were endings regarding your home, your physical home. You guys could have maybe sold something and went into something temporary, or you could have traveled somewhere and lived like in Airbnbs or with relatives, and then that didn't work out, and then you went back, and then you experienced this loss, then you went back again. For some of you, this this instability, this home instability, sorry, has been going on since 2022, and you really saw the hit of it in 2023. And for a sliver of you, or maybe a good half of you, it's still going on now. You might still be in some kind of a temporary housing, and you're wishing and hoping for the light of at the end of the tunnel with some permanency uh, with housing. And there's good news by either by summer, late spring, summer, or by the end of the year, you will find some kind of permanent housing. There will be a decision here. But going back to this loss in 2023, there might have been also an inheritance. Um, um you might have gained a lump sum of money, a good lump sum of money here. Um, Even with Saturn restricting this, like I told you, he threw you this anchor. Maybe you lost a lot of joint finances money, made some decisions or deals that made you lose money. Saturn throwing you this anchor might have been something of maybe a government benefit came in, and it was huge, or maybe an inheritance came in, and it was big. Um, if it had to do with an inheritance, there was an issue about equal distribution, or children, or maybe your adult children, or something like that. That it had to be, there was an issue there where it had to be resolved for some equal distribution of some sort. Um, but whatever you gained here, you started again losing it or spending it, or lump sum started going out again, and probably due to when Saturn went retrograde and wasn't able to rein in Neptune. Or you could have, God forbid, had an injury or something where you applied for government benefits in 2023, maybe, and you're still working uh, on that, on those forms, or the paperwork or interviews or what have you. And some of you have had that resolved, and you're starting this government benefit, or some of you are still in the last stages of getting that resolved. And there will be a clue about that starting in January, in this month. I believe, let me just look. Yeah, on the second, third, when Venus enters Pisces. So when Venus enters, Venus attracts love, romance, yes, but it attracts money, fortune, and fame. So when it enters Pisces, you might find a stash that you didn't know about, or maybe the bank has made a mistake and informs you that we were wrong or something, or a new deal comes in, or your partner's finances. Maybe they get a new job and it's a lucrative career, and that boosts your joint finances. But during the second and the third of January, that, or you could get like a notice about your government benefits that it's gone through. So that's going to start. But this brings us to the Venus retrograde 2025 dates, right? Anything that's really good, it's like, almost there, but no. No, I'm not laughing. Sorry. What happens is January 2nd, Venus will enter Pisces in your joint finances house, or government benefits, inheritance, lump sum. Then on February 4th, a month later, Venus departs Pisces and enters Aries, your ninth house of travel and education. So you may make plans regarding education or travel because of this money coming in with joint finance, maybe for some of you. But then on March 1st, Venus will retrograde back into Aries. So some complications regarding travel or education. What I'm concerned about here is March 27th through April 12th, when Venus retrogrades back from Aries all the way into Pisces, is I want you to be really careful about money and joint finances, okay? Because if Venus going direct brings in fortune and fame, when it goes retrograde, Venus can be, how can I put this? Impetuous. I don't, not malicious, but it reverses things. Anything retrograde, it reverses things, and I don't want you to lose money during this period. So don't make any grand purchases, high tagged item price purchases during this period. And excuse me, if it's a relationship that might be coming back, because Venus brings back romance or partnerships from the past. Again, just watch the retrograde periods between March and April, because there's something that might get reversed. Now, April 12th, mid-April or end of April, well, mid-April, and going forward, go gung ho, because you will have learned the lesson of this money, fortune, and fame, or love or romance. So that's what I wanted to point out before I got into um, closing up with the past regarding Neptune and Saturn in Aries. Um, I covered that. Sorry, I'm just checking my, because I know you guys have gone through so much hell with this, and I feel for you. You guys are really um, very grounded and centered and very nurturing, and you don't deserve what's been going on with you guys. So I wanted to make sure I covered everything. So yeah, so that's that's what'll be wrapping up. Now, Neptune in spring will leave Pisces in your eighth house of joint finances and go into Aries. Um, and Saturn also will leave Pisces and go into Aries. So you will see pragmatism. Oh, I can't say it. You'll be practical about joint. Can you tell I'm not an English speaker? So Neptune will so you'll get a reprieve regarding joint finances, the instability and the fear of money that disappears. You get a reprieve of that, okay? And you become practical, or you see clearly, because Neptune is gone. Because Neptune rules the ocean, the sea, oil, the music and movie industries, enchantments, dreams, alcohol, and drugs, and makes everything softer. Rose colored glasses is what Neptune is all about. So you'll start seeing that fogginess about your money sector disappear, go away, and you'll see things clearly. Now, Neptune will enter Aries, and Aries is your ninth house of foreigners, long distance travel, um, of higher education, of publishing, and the World Wide Web. And this is pretty exciting. It won't really be like Pisces because Aries is your fellow fire sign. So that is good. That's exciting because it trines your sun. So trines are super nice. Um, and um, I'm just checking my notes. Da, da, da. So you have this vision or idealism or this dream about foreigners, about traveling, about higher education, about publishing, about philosophy, even because that's the ninth house. And whether you're old or young, maybe if you're young, maybe you're getting into school now. Um, and if you're in the higher education or teaching field, whether you're in that field or if you're a student, or maybe you're even thinking about publishing, it will be more of male focused maybe studies or patriarchal societies, or you might be getting into immigration and foreigners. Maybe some of you are going to end up with doing an internship at the UN, or you might get into careers regarding the water, drinking water, or the ocean, or oil industry, and so on and so forth. Uh, uh, and like I said, you might be publishing or thinking about publishing something in there, but it will be very exciting. And this is coinciding with the end of Uranus in Taurus as well. So that's Taurus is your 10th house of career, and whenever a planet ends something, um, you get some kind of a reward. When it ends a tour of a certain house, you get some kind of a reward. So with it and coinciding with the end of Uranus and Taurus, your 10th house, like I said, maybe you'll be getting into these new fields. Okay, um, and Saturn also will come into Aries. I don't know if I mentioned that, but I am. So it leaves Pisces, and the your eighth house of restrictions, government benefits, joint finances, that ends. And yippee! But then it'll go into Aries. But Saturn going into Aries will not hurt you, will not restrict as it has with your joint finances, but rather it will support you because he also trines your sun. So what that means is it gives you tools. Um, it gives you tools in realizing these idealistic dreams, these visions, these idealistic visions that you'll have. And Neptune in Aries again will be your escape mode. It'll feel like an escapade, like a vacation from the world, from all the troubles. Um, the only challenge that Saturn may be doing is to have you study or research maybe a language, because it's the ninth house of foreigners and travel and education. Maybe yes, like I said, research or study language, or poli sci, political science, or international law, or maybe even anthropology. Or again, if it's not study, maybe it's research or certification. So only inhibition you might see is because it's only a short stint that Neptune and Saturn does in Aries this year. You might see that study and research and what the certification and what have you in 2026, and in 2027 uh, you will be Saturn ends its stay in Aries and leaves you alone with Neptune, and you'll have had that those tools with you, and you can navigate your journey with Neptune in Aries for the next 13-12 years. So that's all I have on Neptune and Aries. We'll be revisiting those again because it'll go retrograde. Now, the next big exciting thing, like I don't know if I mentioned this to you earlier, but um, like I mentioned, like the end of 2024 and the January, February might be a struggle for you, but if I didn't mention it to you, just hang on, because starting in April and May, even June, um, July, August are going to be amazing for you. Very exciting. Because the next subject I'm going to be discussing is Uranus, the planet of shock, surprise, electricity, and genius. It rules Aquarius, the genius of the zodiac. Woohoo! For Leo. Uranus will be ending its tour of Taurus, which is your 10th house of career, status, reputation, and authority figures, after 7 long years. So you've had um, maybe shocking surprises, revelations, and abrupt turns regarding your career and status. Where you thought you were going with your career and status has been shifting and changing in the last 7 years. And at times it has been abrupt or shocking in some way. Um, and with Uranus, it's feast or famine. It's up and down. It's a roller coaster. But and that wasn't a Taurus; it was an Earth sign, which really doesn't hinder you. But you're more trining with air and fire signs. So it finishes a tour in Taurus, and you might end a career um, and start a new one. And career and status is married, not married, single, not single, and so forth. So there might be an ending with a relationship here. And please, for those of you, this isn't. I mean, Uranus is the planet of shock and surprise, but if this happens, you have known that this is coming. So when I'm saying it's an ending of a relationship, you've already known this, but it might be a start of a new relationship, because like I said, these outer planets, these heavy duty planets, when they exit a sign after so many years, they do leave us a gift of our trials and tribulations that we had to endure and learn in these years. And and uh, so I'm just checking my notes again. Sorry. So then what Uranus does is it leaves Taurus and then enters Gemini. Woohoo! That is fantastic for you. Gemini is your 11th house of friends, a friend, groups, a circle, an association. It can be even a gym membership. It's just some kind of camaraderie and what have you. And you will experience unique, talkative and informative friends and groups. And it could be relating to maybe the community of your school friends or students. But it'll be very, very exciting. Gemini is an air sign, so air and fire, nice. It just lifts you up. And these friends, these unique talkative friends, since Gemini is ruled by Mercury, and Mercury was the messenger of the gods, so he was able to permeate everywhere, even the underworld. He was allowed, because nobody could go into Pluto's realm, the underworld, and come back out. Only Mercury, and Mercury had the protection and the privilege of going to every realm, to every god. Everyone needed him. So Gemini, Uranus in Gemini in your 11th house, these will be very connected friends. That's what I wanted to say. Very connected friends who will actually open doors for you regarding your 10th house of career, of what that ending in your 10th house of career was. That vacuum, it'll be filled up. It could also be through siblings and cousins, because Gemini rules siblings and cousins. Gemini rules the third house of communication, siblings and cousins. Or it could be something unique like social media. You might be starting something of a blog or a YouTube thing, or maybe in the news industry. Or you could go into venture with these friends or siblings or Gemini like people, informative like people. Um, and 11th house also represents like a um, second important relationship, or third important, so a second or third marriage. So you might be meeting, if you're single, or like I said, if you've ended something, you might be meeting somebody who's Gemini, that you might start a relationship with. Just be careful, because it is Uranus, and making lover out of friends. Anyway, uh, that's what Uranus is doing. So wow, April through August is absolutely fabulous for you. Not only because Mars starts going direct in your sign and you start getting what you want, but then Neptune and Saturn trining your sign, and then Uranus and Gemini also trining your sign, and you, oh my, this is absolutely fantastic. April through August is I am so excited for you guys, Leo. Bye bye, water sign, water and earth signs. Hello, fire and earth, fire and air for you guys. Woo! I gotta catch my breath before I do the next one. This is awesome. All right, let's go on to the next subject. Okay, I gotta calm down. I got more excited than you. Are excited for you. Woo! All right, so yeah, so the latter half of the year, then we go back to the past to because it's been so overwhelming with all this excitement that you're going to go through and these new adventures and friends and career and traveling and all that. The universe is taking us back to the past to fully embrace the future in 2026 when all these planets leave once and for all the past signs and go into these future signs that we got a sneak peek of, like a movie trailer of what we'll be set up for. Um, and because you have been so cautious and the water energy, and then boom, the summer will be fire and air energies. It'll be just overwhelming. So you'll actually, and then you'll have Jupiter. Did I discuss Jupiter? I haven't discussed Jupiter, have I? Yikes. Okay, so Jupiter will enter Cancer in June, and that will be your. It is your 12th house of behind the scenes and secrets and what have you. So it'll be protective of secrets and behind the scenes stuff. It'll expand whatever you're working feverishly on regarding behind the scenes or something about your past. Um, will become revelatory, but it will again it'll be something that will be expressed to you where you are protected. Um, and you might start a relationship behind the scenes that you're not ready to move forward with or bring out into the open with. But Jupiter is a benefic planet, so it protects you here. Um, so you'll see that protection and expansion from June on and into the next year, half of the next year. And Jupiter takes 1 year to transit each sign. So think back to 12 years ago, and you'll get a flavor of what Jupiter was doing behind the scenes. It won't be the same exact energies because planets are in different positions now, but I guess at least you get a flavor of what it was 12 years ago regarding your 12th house. Um, and yeah, we start to slow down, and these planets go retrograde over the degrees that we had in these air and fire signs, and we start reviewing how far along we've come, and then it goes back to the water signs, to Pisces and Taurus, especially going over the 29th degree of Pisces. So there might be ending of relationships, home, family, and children might be involved. And please don't think like, oh my God, no, you got us all so excited, and now back to the past. No, just remember it's going to be a different world when you revisit the past. Um, there's two main reasons to revisit the past. One is you want to fully embrace the future with all of your heart, not half of your heart. So the saying goes is if you hang on to both, you lose both. So you don't want to go with any luggage. You want to go in empty so that the universe, like a vacuum, fills you in with good stuff. And also because these are important areas, and it's the critical 29th degree. And Pisces is a compassionate sign, and you're a nurturing father figure. Even if you're a mom, you could be like the Joan of Arc kind of Leo. So the other main important reason is because we need to find resolution if we are partnered, so that we go into the future together strong with one heart and no resentment or reconcilement. A lot of you will be going back, reconciling with partners, and because they're meant to go with you into the future. Or if it is an ending, you or the other person needs closure. Um, it's not like an ending forever that you'll never see this person, but it might be where you are going to be traveling or moving home. Like I said, you find this permanent home thing, and it might be long distance or traveling. And if it is an ending of a relationship or partnership, you need to find closure here for you and them, because you are magnanimous. You don't do drop you like a hot potato. All right, let me just go over the rest of the year. I did do January in full for you. So let's go into February. February, I already discussed. I'm only going to do the major aspects because I think I'm already over an hour. Excuse me. And most people don't have attention spans of more than I think they say keep your videos to 9-10 minutes, but no way, not for a year horoscope. So yeah, I've already discussed February and Venus entering Aries. March, we have a total lunar eclipse in Virgo. This is your second house of job, income, and your value system. It's a total lunar eclipse. It is the nodes, beginnings and endings, and this is an ending, full stop. So something about your job, your income, is ending, because either because you're starting a new job with a more lucrative income, or you're setting up, like I said, this career thing where maybe you start a new business. But that's what it's setting you up for. That's why this total lunar eclipse here. For others, the second house also does involve marriage. So it could be that. Moving on to the 30th, Neptune enters Aries. Like I said, you'll have a reprieve and clearly see things regarding your eighth house of ideals. Um, this idealizing of your eighth house of joint finances and intimacy, and you'll have a reprieve, and you might start planning here a long distance travel. But I've discussed that, and I'll probably hit on it when I reach December. April, sorry, Mars will enter your sign. This is the time when you feel like you have re-energized, renewed vigor to go after what you want, like explained. And it will be like, okay, Pluto, you you beat me up last time. Well, I'm back, so bring it on, Pluto. Remember, Mars is fearless. Let alone you are ruled by the most powerful energy in a good way in our solar system, the sun. The sun. So you'll have this renewed vigor. On the 20th, the sun in Taurus will square Mars in your sign. The sun is illuminating, or it's your yearly checkup on your career and status. Plus, with Uranus winding down, weird word to use with Uranus, um, and with Mars in your sign, tensing up and opposing Leo, a couple of days later, this is the beginning of the end of changing your career or setting dates and plans for it. Because remember, Uranus will retrograde back in Taurus at the end of the year. So the final move push or the date of that career change plan might be at the end of the year. Drink water. Okay, and then the infamous last and final showdown between Mars in your sign and Pluto in Aquarius. Sorry, Pluto in Aquarius, your seventh house of partnerships. Again, with the sun being in Taurus and Uranus almost at the end of Taurus, this might be the turning point and decision of changing your career, ending a business partnership or a partnership personal or a platonic, or this opposition might be exciting. I mean, it's explosive and exciting, and it might be exciting in the sense that a new partnership is being formed here. The only caution is be careful of your roar. Honey catches bees much faster than vinegar because it is Pluto. And yes, Mars is fearless. Like I said, Mars will go up against any dragon or behemoth or a puppy. It'll just pounce over it. It's fearless. Even when it's up against Pluto, it's going to be like, huh, pff, whatever, I'm coming at you. But Pluto is the god of destruction and the underworld and transformation. He would love it for you to burn a bridge and explode while you're doing that, or explode a partnership, because he wants you to face your fears and your control issues. So that's why Pluto will be like, all right, come on, come on. It is explosive here, but and if you value this partnership, or if if you never know what'll happen in the future. You might need this person, or you might come face to face with this person again, especially since we'll be revisiting the past in the latter half of the year, uh, to either reconcile, resolve, or have closure. Use self-discipline. Like I said, be firm but polite. um, Use that energy that Mars is giving you for self-control, and and be your magnanimous self, um, and do what you are really good at, which is listening and be nurturing. Let them expend the energy in going at you, and the most powerful way to handle any explosive situation is to stay still. And it's not that you're a pushover, but they expend the energy, and they make the mistake. You don't make the mistake. And you are, but you know, you are a leader. This will be super hard for you, as you are ruled by the sun, and Mars is in your sign. I mean, holy Jesus, the sun and Mars, the god of war. And you, like I said, you are a leader, you are a very proud sign, and you do hate betrayals, or somebody undermining you or your authority, or someone close to you, or you don't like hostage situations. Um, and that pent up energy is not good for your health either. So maybe also try exercising or walking briskly. Oh God, Leo. And again, if it still happens, then the showdown. I mean, then it is meant to happen, because these planets are doing this for a reason. There is something that needs to happen. Okay, that's all I'm going to say about that. I do monthly scopes, like I mentioned. If I didn't, we'll be revisiting this. In May, Saturn will enter Aries, and like I mentioned, Saturn is not like here is not like Saturn in Pisces. This will be a very supportive energy because it trines your sign, and it'll give you those tools that you need. So Saturn will not inhibit or withhold your dreams here, but rather Saturn will be saying, "This is what you need to do to get this dream, this vision, this idealism, to manifest it into reality." And June, it's all the boogie woogie, and all the action begins with Jupiter entering Cancer and Mars squaring Uranus, Taurus. So Mars is in your sign, squaring Uranus and Taurus. Mm, Jumpstart something about your career, either ending it or starting something new. Jupiter will square Saturn in Aries. Again, Saturn in Aries is going to be helping you with something you need to research regarding travel, education, and Jupiter will be helping you do that research behind the scenes if you need to, because Jupiter will also square Neptune in Aries. So this is a one time deal. Usually squares happen 3 times. This is only a one time deal, and which is significant. So if on the 15th, 18th, if you're getting if Saturn is manifesting in a person, letting you know how to attain this idealistic vision of your travel, foreigner, or higher education, listen. And Jupiter will protect you here with Cancer. On the 4th, Neptune retrogrades in Aries. I've discussed that. Uranus enters Gemini. Yeah, this will be the exciting part I mentioned. The fun begins. And the sextiles complements your sign. And you will truly feel like it's a brand new world starting in the summer, late spring, summer. Uh, and also, I forgot to mention Gemini is the sign of twins, so something doubles here for you. Okay, lots of communication, lots of you will almost feel like you hit the jackpot. You get to fly off. Saturn retrogrades in Aries. The 17th, Mercury retrogrades in Leo. So the only caution I have for you here is, since Leo is your first house, if you are changing anything physically about your appearance, just be careful until this retrograde period is over. If you're doing any plastic surgery or any of these pen fads, because when it goes direct, you'll be made of aware of information that it might be harmful. Or if you get a haircut or a tattoo, and then you find out that you have a really serious interview, that's not going to work well. So just be careful of retrograde, because whatever you do during retrograde, it reverses. So you need plan A, B, C, and D. On the 30th, Venus enters Cancer. Lovely. Um, because so much has happened, you will actually like being alone here to review, like I mentioned. August 11th, Venus conjoins Jupiter in Cancer. Lovely time to be alone because, well, one, you'll be researching and reviewing, but 25th, Venus enters Leo. So you'll start attracting others. You'll be attracting love, romance, fame, and fortune. Um, why I'm pausing here is because on the 25th, Venus, well, I mentioned that on the 27th, Venus in your sign will trine Neptune in Aries. And then Venus in your sign sextiles Uranus in Gemini. Um, and Venus conjoins Jupiter in Cancer behind the scenes or in secret. All right, so maybe a friend becomes a lover here, or your friends are setting you up with someone really lovely or attractive, or you find of like someone out of your friends that's lovely or attractive. Mm. This is kind of nice, but it's something in secret. I don't know. I do anyway. August is really nice, and Jupiter is protecting you here. But yeah, get something might start there. All right, September. I've discussed Saturn in Pisces. The 7th total lunar eclipse. This time in Pisces. So September, it's a total lunar eclipse. Huge. It is an ending regarding joint finances, a mortgage, government benefits, inheritance. So it's an ending. Remember endings and beginnings. So something is ending here. A relationship might end, and this is where you separate joint finances. Or the restriction maybe you had regarding government benefits that ends, and you get something really lucrative here. Because remember, Venus is in your sign, attracting love and fortune, fame and fortune. And then on the 21st, we have a partial solar eclipse in Virgo. So this is nice. The solar eclipse is a beginning. So a new opportunity regarding your job and income. So remember when we had the lunar eclipse in Virgo, ending a job or an income there? It was setting you up for this, a new job opportunity. Excuse me. On the 14th, Venus in Libra will trine Uranus in Gemini. Venus in Libra trines Pluto in Aquarius at the same time. Boy, Leo, a lot of love going on. Uh, so this is another opportunity. Mark this date down. You might meet someone attractive again. This is being repeated through friends, siblings, community. Mm, Yeah, may end up being your better half or partner in crime because it's Aquarius here, and because it is Pluto trining. The trine is approving of this person. This may be the person who has the strengths that you don't have, and you them. So opposites here attract, and very, very strongly. And remember, Gemini, I told you it's a dual thing. So this might be a second meeting or a different person from August, or it might be a brand new person altogether. How the tables have turned, right, Gemini or Leo? Um, so yes, opposites attract, but yes, opposites can be volatile later because of your opposite values or what have you. But if you understand this energy, because that's why the zodiac wheel, Gemini is opposite Sagittarius, Virgo is opposite Pisces. So you're actually the best match is those opposite people because you have strengths they don't, and they have strengths you don't. So if you understand that, you will be able to allow your other half to be free to pick up where you lack. And if they understand that, they'll do the same with you. And that is a match made in heaven, etc. and etc. But yeah, mark this date down. And then on the 22nd, Neptune re-enters Pisces. November 7th, Uranus retrogrades back into Taurus. So you revisit what your career choice, what you ended, what you left. You get to review that. Um, and there might be second chances here if you're not liking your new career. And on the 9th, Mercury retrograde in Sagittarius and Scorpio. So this is the third retrograde. Again, cautions regarding retrogrades: have plan B, A, B, C, and D, because this is retrograding in two signs: your love, romance, children, creativity, and pets, and in your fourth house of home and family and parents. So this is huge, and it's very important, and it goes through December. Uh, Maybe it is because Neptune is retrograde in Pisces. Maybe for those of you who have this home instability issue, it gets resolved here, and you're talking it out. Um, if you have younger children, they might be coming back to live with you, and you might be discussing that, or it might be mundane as children on a school holiday. If you're elderly, you might be going to live with an adult child, and you guys will be discussing that. But again, um, it's Sagittarius. It's a fire sign. Scorpio is a water sign, but it might be just exactly what you need. Or, like I said, it might be a child who needs to talk about this. But anyway, we'll do monthly scopes, and it is all the way in November. We still don't know exactly how that'll shake out for all of you. And then December, final decisions, endings, new beginnings regarding your career, status, reputation, etc. Could be a decision to travel or make a final move, as I mentioned earlier in the intro regarding this latter half of the year. Um, and it might be La 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 la. It's the critical 29th degree of Pisces, and we're revisiting this. Like I said, to fully embrace the future in 2026 and release the past. Um, and because you have been so cautious um, with the water energy, and summer will be overwhelming, and then this takes you back to the past. Like I said, it'll be a different world with a newfound confidence in you when you do this. Um, you will be making decisions about home, family, and departure or travel. So, if you're starting a new relationship and you're solid as a rock, you need resolution here so that both of you can go forward with, um, with the same heart and mind towards the future. If you had ended a relationship and there's a reversal here, there will be reconcilements so that you say, no, I want to go in the future with this relationship. Or if it is a complete ending of a relationship, there needs to be closure. You are a magnanimous sign and a very nurturing sign, and you don't want to end something on a sour note. Um, you need closure, or the other person needs closure if it is that, and or it could be just mundane, as family is going to miss you because you're moving off into the yonder. I mean, it's not forever. We never lose relationships, but just this because you have this travel, long distance travel in your scope, you might be wanting to let someone down easy, or some kind of closure. Like I said, and if I didn't mention, you want to go into the future with your full heart, not half of your heart. You don't want to go into the future with luggage. And I hope, Leo, I did not bore you. I hope that was informative and entertaining, if not informative. Uh, um, I really am rooting for you guys because, like I said, you really need a break. And with the Neptune and Aries coming in, it's really going to help you out. Because I believe that Leo has been ignored for a long time. In any case, happy new year and a very beneficial new year to you. If you did find this informative or at least entertaining, think about subscribing. If you're not into subscribing, please at least hit the like button, because this I am starting. Uh, I'm trying to build this channel, and I'm looking to you guys to help me out with that. And liking or subscribing is free. In any case, I will talk to you soon when I drop the Pluto and Aquarius dedicated videos for each sign. You take care of yourselves.